Hello and welcome to the Phil Sinclair Investigates Podcast. Today I have Charlene and Aimee from Paranormal Hauntings. I'll start with you, Charlene. Can you just give a little explanation about yourself and who you are and what you do?
So I'm Charlene. I'm founder of Paranormal Hauntings. I'm researcher, investigator, blogger, you name it. Bit of everything.
And Aimee, you?
I'm just Charlene's henchman.
Right. We'll just have that then. We'll just Charlene's henchman.
She's that right on man. That's who Aimee is.
Right. No, I'm sure you're more important than that. I'm sure you're a vital part of the team. I'm sure you're the heartbeat of it. So I've invited you on today because I know you've had experience with the God helmet, and I'm just wanting to know, as a person who's not quite sure what it is and what it aims to do, and if you could just tell me what it is. The reason what sparked this conversation today is I watched a TV show called Ancient Aliens the other day, and there was a guy. The episode was about cults, and this one particular cult leader, when he got arrested, they found a God helmet, and basically he said that he was using the God helmet because he thought he could read people's minds with it, and if he could read people's minds, he could take over the world, and that was his aim. So can one of you just give a little brief explanation for what the God helmet is?
We've sussed us out, Phil, because we plan on taking over the world.
Right, is that the idea?
Yeah.
World domination.
And how is that working for you? Is it going well?
Well, I'll let Aimee explain, because Aimee introduced the helmet. Well, she introduced the idea of the helmet to me. She'd seen it, and I'd looked into it more. So I'll let Aimee explain exactly what it is and where she found it, and then we'll go on from there. Yeah.
Yeah, try that. Yeah.
Well, it was a long time ago. I was watching a paranormal investigating show with Ryan Buell. I think I can remember the name.
Paranormal State, was it?
That's it. It was my favourite thing, and they were using something called the Shakti helmet. Well, they called it the Shakti helmet. And I looked a little bit more into it, and it became that idea of the God's helmet, and it was quite an obsession for me for a while. I was saying for ages, we need to do this, we need to try and get one. And what it is, it looks a tiny bit strange. It's basically a bicycle helmet. Well, ours is. Charlene had ours made. We did try and get one from, I don't know, the manufacturer of them. But he didn't want to sell us one because they are quite hard to get hold of. So Charlene had ours made, and it's a bicycle helmet.
I've done a little bit of research for this, and basically I've seen one made out of a motorcycle helmet, a builder's helmet.
Anything, I suppose.
Anything what can get on your head, basically.
Yeah, because it's not the helmet that's actually the feature, it's the coils inside it. So there's 8 coils, 4 on each side. First, you stimulate the left-hand side for about 5 minutes just to get things rolling, and then you go on to the right-hand side. There is a video on our page demonstrating, the God's helmet and how it works. But it basically emits EMF. Impulses, short pulses into the brain. And it sounds
only mildly, though. Only
it sounds rather dangerous, but it actually isn't. You get more from using a mobile phone.
Yeah.
So it's said to stimulate the pineal gland, which is supposedly part of the brain helps with paranormal experiences. So it's apparently it opens you up.
It stimulates the left lobe and it stimulates the right lobe. And what it is they're supposed to be, I mean, because the person that originally had it was Stanley Korean and Michael Persinger, wasn't it? And Stanley Korean, he was the inventor of it, but Michael Persinger was a neuroscientist. And they both believed that if they stimulated the left, it kind of helped with communication with the right side of the brain. And so then you've got the gland in which it passes through, if you like, and it stimulates it as they pass it through. So that is it's like that, isn't it, Amen? Because it's very hard to explain to people when they have.
I always forget like little bits that because there's so much with it that you can talk about. I always forget little bits, so we sort of like help each other out with that.
Would you say that it is, simulates a real paranormal experience, or or a simulation of a paranormal experience? So like basically that's putting an experience into your brain. So how to explain?
The theory is that it triggers a spiritual experience. Right. That was what Michael Persinger and Stanley Korean believed, and they actually tried this on 2,000 participants in a study.
Good.
And 80% of their participants experienced something with it.
So that could be UFO experience, angel experiences, God experience, something otherworldly was happening. But we wanted to, because I had kind of the idea to mix it with the Gansfeld experiment. So we take away the senses whilst the helmet's on, and basically it's a double whammy because they both said to induce paranormal experience. So we just thought, let's whack them together, see what happens. And we are thinking of different ways to do it in the field of investigating, because we're basically trying to prove that it's a good tool to have for an investigator to get to the root of a haunting, a story, or the history of a location. So this is why we like to take people blindfolded in the car,
and not just our own team. We like participants from other teams or other people willing to have a go of it, because what we didn't want to say, oh look, we've got this new piece of equipment, oh let's put it on around, oh god, we're experiencing this and experiencing that, because people are like, all right. So what we wanted to do is try it on various different people for them to then give their honest opinion on what they thought was happening, what happened to them at the time, and just give it honestly. If nothing happened, nothing happened. If it did, it did. I mean, I was quite skeptical at the time of getting it, and said, if nobody experiences anything with it, we'll give it a good enough run and we'll see how it goes, and then we'll write about it and say it how it is. We don't think it works, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. It was always meant to be a long-term research project. We was going to do it over not a set period of time. Obviously, with COVID and everything, got sort of put on the codswash. So we wanted to try it in various different locations, mixing little bits with it. We're always thinking of different ways to use it. Different ways to sort of induce an experience or take something away. We just want to play about with it. But I must say, I wasn't skeptical about it. I was very like, very excited. And the first investigation we did with it, I was like, wow, maybe this does work. And then the second one, I think, was with Simon, wasn't it?
Basically what we did is when we had it, we had a mythology with it as well. So what we wanted to do is take someone into a location where they don't know the history, they don't know the haunting. Sometimes that's blindfolded from the car. They're in the back of my car, blindfolded all the way to the location. We've not given anything away about anything, have we?
No.
Plant them in a room or in the location, switch it on, and see what they get, and see if they pick up on or see or experience things that is rumoured to haunt there, or is rumoured to happen there, or things that may have been seen there. We wanted to make the connections from the helmet to the location, and when we needed that to be kind of blind to the person participating in that, didn't we?
Yeah, we do. That's kind of the key thing, because if they don't know where they are, then how can they get the haunting bang on just like that? You know, it's got to be the anonymous, where they can't know. You know, they can't know little bits.
So what we did for the first time is Simon wasn't blindfolded for the first time, but he didn't really know anything history wise about the location. He didn't know any of the hauntings. The hauntings weren't really put out there on what people have seen and stuff there. And we put it on him, and we had things happen, didn't we? And he had things coming through to him. So it was interesting. But what happened next is we wondered how we could advance on that. So we blindfolded him in the car. He didn't know where he was going. And we took him to Wombwell Woods. Walked him through, still didn't know where we were going, planted him down on a chair, and seen what he said, you know, and the first thing he said, which just absolutely floored me, was that he could see a man like Guy Fawkes in a cape,
like an assassin.
And that is the main haunting in Oz, wasn't it? The Guy Fawkes character.
Absolutely floored. I was so excited behind there. The next breath he's saying there's witches. One said there's rituals. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, anybody that hadn't have seen him in the car and trust Simon would have thought we'd have been making it up, wouldn't there? You know.
Those are, so people that's listening wondering what Wombwell Woods are, basically the notorious woodland which is supposed to be haunted, and it has had a history of witchcraft and some Guy Fawkes character running around. We're not saying it is Guy Fawkes, but he's in that kind of dress.
He described him as looking like Assassin's Creed Guy Fawkes, just from the like the white face and the, you know, the anonymous.
Stood over a fire as well, I believe. No, he said he was stood over a fire. He could see like the bucket of fire underneath him. Yeah, so we saw that.
But the main people that seen this bloke, at Wombwell has said he resembled what looked like they've just described him that he looked like Guy Fawkes, which is what Simon said, you know, that he looked like, not that he haunts there, but it's how he looked. So we were just floored, weren't we, really?
He didn't say it in the live, but he said it in the car on the way back, and Charlene could have hit him because he said something about aliens as well, didn't he? UFOs. Yeah. He goes, I weren't going to say that because I felt really daft. That's what he said. We were like, oh my God, you should have said it. But yeah, it was brilliant.
Has anyone had a negative experience from it? You know, like it's affected them, it's like it's made them ill, or had a migraine from it, or, you know, anything like that? Headache. So that is like one of the, you know, the symptoms.
I mean, there wasn't no side effects listed as being from it, other than you can become addicted to it.
So it becomes like a drug, basically. You want more and more of it because you want more of this sensation. You want more of this. I suppose it's giving you, if the helmet's giving you a psychic ability, I suppose you would want to, like, I want to use this more. What could I do more with this?
The thing is don't just give you the ability to like kind of see, if you like, because this is only a matter, it's only like as if you're imagining it in your head. Well, some people have physically seen things in front of them. Some people have, and when you watch some of the videos, you see people looking around because we put ping pong balls on the eyes, and some people have seen things, and not just in the mind. It's not just that though, but a lot of people at the 20-minute mark actually feel like someone's touching them. Yeah. And this is a known thing with the experiment, that around the 20-minute mark, people do tend to report being touched, feeling like there's walking next to them. And these are very, very physical things. I mean, I've had a go myself with it, and I can honestly say it is physical. I was swinging. I felt like I was just swinging, and
you sat there like sort of swaying, and you went, am I swaying? Am I slightly? But Adam was the one that because we started measuring the heart rate, didn't we? We thought we wanted to measure the heart rate just to check, because if somebody's having a genuine experience, the heart rate is going to show this. Well, it's the pulse rate, sorry. So Adam was, we were in Antwerp Mansion, and he had the helmet on, and his heart rate shot up. What number was it? Was it 120?
It went to like, he was very relaxed. He's a very healthy person, so from somebody from him, you'd expect an heart rate of 60, a bit below maybe, and that's what he was when he put it on. And then you'd expect a slight increase in heart rate as you put the white noise on, because that can heighten the pulse rate. But then what happened is he was quite chilled, quite relaxed, and he actually felt someone blow on him, and his heart rate went from like probably 70 odd to like 120 odd.
Yeah, which is
and he was
high.
Generally scared. He was getting paranoid that no one was in the room with him. He was generally really getting scared, to the point where I said, I'm going to have to take him off and see if he's okay, which we didn't expect Adam to be like that, because anyone that knows Adam from Hidden Realm, check him out. He's quite a logical investigator. He's quite skeptical investigator. He's willing to try anything, give it a go at least once. And I didn't really expect him to experience much, and his was quite interesting in what he did, because like I say, he physically felt a lady, what he described as a lady, blow on the back of his neck.
He actually thought it was either me or Charlene. He asked,
messing about.
Yeah, I thought that we were like stood behind him and blowing on him.
I suppose what would be a good thing with that is sitting somebody down with the helmet on, have it on, and then give them a pen and paper to kind of like draw what they're seeing. Seeing if they can sketch what they're actually seeing.
That's a good idea.
It is a good idea. I mean, we like doing these chats on it because we do get ideas. Coming our way with it. So we do like to do chats on it, because we're fairly open to how we want to go with it, and what we want to do with it. And every time everyone's talked to us, they've given us a bit more to try out, haven't they? But yeah, that would be a really, really good idea, Phil.
Did you say that 80% of people that tried it have had some kind of experience?
This is when
that was in the statistics. That was
yeah. There's been others trial replicas of it before, and they said that they didn't experience anything. But then I have to wonder if they'd got the stimulation right, if they was doing the experiment right. How was they doing that, and how many participants had they done it on? I mean, we've got to look at Piersinger, and he'd done it on 2000s. That's a big chunk of people to try it on, and to say that 80% of people experience something, that's a lot,
Yeah, that is a lot.
Skeptical just think, skeptical people just think that by just putting the helmet on itself can make people just come out with things. That's one of the skeptical sides to it, like a psychological effect of having a device on your head.
But that's exactly why we take them to a location they know nothing about. So nothing is suggested. Nothing at all is suggested.
Yeah, they said that there was a lot of suggestion in with what Michael Persinger did, and that's why so many people experience things. But we don't even really tell people what to expect. We just say you might experience something, you might not.
Just what you feel, what you see, and what you hear. That's what we say.
So we're not giving any details on the location, like what is supposed to be there and stuff like that. I think another investigation, because since we've come out of lockdown, we have done it 2 more times, and we did a Victorian underground shopping marketplace.
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
in Leeds, and we tried it on Daz, one of Simon's friends, and he actually came out with a name. And we didn't know any of the names, to be fair, of who we were supposed to, because he wouldn't tell us, would he, who owned it. He said, I'll tell you till after. So we said, okay, all right then. So anyway, the specific name he came out with, was it Annabelle?
Yes, it was Annabelle.
And there was a surname. But anyway, when we came out, we spoke to the owner, and he went, there was an Annabelle that lived next door, and she died.
Upstairs, weren't it?
Yeah, and she died. No, and her husband died, because he'd seen her as a black widow.
Mm-hmm.
And her husband died, and then she died shortly after, wasn't it? And it kind of moved up a little bit, but not just that. The actual Gina then had a look at records, and it was an Annabelle, and I can't remember the second name off the top of my head, but a lady named that, a widow, lived round the corner from the shopping place. So
Annabelle isn't a common name, is it really?
No, but the second name as well.
Yeah.
It was the first and second name, and she was a widow, and she literally lived just round the corner. She would have used that shopping centre probably every day, and I don't know if she'd had any connections down there or anything like that. But what is the coincidence of getting a first and last name of someone who lives round the corner during the Victorian age, who was a widow as well?
That shopping centre, it's basically frozen in time, isn't it? It's like, it's just literally just how it was when it was in use. And which it still looks the same for the spirits, so they'll be more comfortable staying there because it's never changed.
But I think for us, that was quite groundbreaking to find that out, because for a first and second name, and for them to be just live round the corner at one point during the Victorian age, it was just very very coincidental, and I don't always believe in coincidences. I think
there's coincidence, and then there's
too much
coincidence. I mean, it's always that's the best part for me when you're paranormal investigating, is when you get a name what's relevant to the case come through, and what are the chances of that coming through?
I mean, at the time we didn't even know this information. Like I say, going there and investigating it, we didn't know that. It was only just because Gina looked it up that we found that information out, and it was just, my light keeps going fuzzy. You see that?
Well, you are in the haunted shed.
He's going blue, and I don't know why. Can you see it, or is it just me?
It does keep changing a little bit, but it might be right.
It keeps dimming and coming back on.
Are they fairy lights? Are they fairy lights? Yeah.
No, well, no, they're not fairy lights. They're just retriever lights on the end of the stems.
I think it
Mhm.
might be that. It could be that that's messing with the
focus.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Anyway.
are in a highly active room, with what you've got in that room. So I mean,
miss that shed. I haven't been in that shed for a long time.
what's the most haunted item in that shed,
Oh, do you know what?
in your opinion?
It's got to be my Lizzie doll, to be honest.
No, I
And
knew you were going to say that. You've got plenty more.
yeah, but she don't do much on lives, but it's always behind the scenes, and that's the typical haunting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would
they're not
What would you
these
say,
spirits
Aimee?
don't do much on command.
the painting.
Which one? Oh, love letters.
No, the one with the witches.
Oh, this one, I'll show you.
Yeah, we've had some. I mean, we always seem to get prostitutes in Charlene's shed.
All right.
It's not a painting. It's ever so weird.
So I was trying to figure it out. It's almost like it's scratched on, but it's not. There is a substance to colour it, but I can't figure out what it is and what it's actually painted with.
It's not paint. It's a weird kind of bag. Can you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's coming off.
We've had a couple of interesting sections of it painted.
Yeah. Yeah. Aimee thinks that one.
Yeah. Well, you don't know how old that painting is. Who had it before? I mean, that painting might have gone through about four generations. You don't know.
I definitely think it's old.
Mm.
There's the burnt doll as well, and that little clown doll, the freaky one. No, that doll. See what I mean? She's got loads. So
I tell you what is a really
folder.
This is my black mirror.
The mirror.
We like that.
This, I think, is got energy to it. We've had some good things with that, haven't we?
Yeah, mirrors. Like a gateway. So
especially
they say.
Black mirrors, because this is a black mirror.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually made with obsidian.
Yeah.
So it's all obsidian. So it's like carrying a piece of crystal around with you. And even though obsidian's known as a protective crystal, we have actually had, when we took it to the nunnery, the communication we had with that was actually quite dark, but then light, and then dark again, but then light. It was strange.
And that was a true representation of what that kind of like black mirrors represent, because a lot of priests used to use black mirrors to communicate with God, to make sure that they was doing what they should, and angels and things. And then you've got the other side of it where people attach the occult and black magic thing to it, but that's because some people probably have over the years used a black mirror to summon and bring forth darker energies. So it has got the light and dark element with it, and to be honest with you, when we have worked with it, it's kind of like represented that light and dark.
Yeah, it's balanced. It's neither more one, it's balanced.
Right. Yeah. So in both of your opinions, do you think that the God helmet is a recommended tool to use within the paranormal? Would you highly recommend it?
I think, yeah, definitely. I think
if it's used correctly, and
I think you've got to know what you're doing with it. It can't just be for show, because it's going to look ridiculous.
No.
You've got to do your research on it, and you've got to do your methods in how you construct your investigation with it, so it don't seem stupid, to be honest. And
there's no point in using it saying, I know everything about this building, everything needs to know, but I'll try the helmet. It's not going to be good
Well,
experiment,
we
is
had,
it?
I think it was last year, we had a typical response, should I say. Somebody posted, well, there was a TV program who had a God's helmet, and basically what he did, he put one on and he walked in a park and he went, I can see a load of ghosts and this is it, and this is it. And he made an absolute mockery of it. And then what happened is a few people in the paranormal posted posts regarding his antics with this God helmet.
Mm-hmm.
And not like we took it personal, but we kind of was like, we don't want you to make a mockery of a device that actually would be very, very good for research. He's making a mockery of it in how he's walking around and saying things. But there is some of us here trying to prove that there could be something genuine with it, so please don't knock it until you try it, and then put it out there and said, do you guys want to try it? Which a few of them did say yes. So
good. Yeah, good.
So it's the same with any device or things, though, isn't it? Some people will go out there and they do make it seem a bit silly to the viewer that's looking in, who might not know an awful lot of it. And it's a shame, because I do think it is a really, really interesting and good device. And obviously those that have tried it feel the same, so,
well, let's be honest. Facebook paranormal groups at the moment aren't doing the field of justice, and well, some of them aren't. And those of us that actually do research and are trying different methods and to try and find something almost breakthrough, not just go out doing the same thing all the time and regurgitate old stuff, find new things. For that to be, we were very careful in making sure that it didn't look like a gimmick.
Yeah, that was our main concern, to be honest, that we introduced it, and we actually told our audience watching, this is what it is. Please go and have a look at the research yourself. And then if you think it's stupid, then come back and tell us, we'll be fine with that,
Yeah.
But please go out and please just have a look and see if you can see why we are interested in it. And which, to be honest, because we have a great audience watchers. We really, really do. Might be biased in that. I think they're all fantastic. They're all logical, and they all, we don't try and make something and not. We're quite honest with them. And so go and have a look yourself and just see what you think. Do you think it's interesting? And, like I say, a lot of them did. They went away and they Googled, researched, watched things on it, and they was really, really interested in it. It really, really was.
Yeah, it's. I agree with pushing the envelope with paranormal, trying new things, instead of doing the same old. I've got an EMF meter, I've got a digital recorder, and we've seen that. We've seen that the digital recorder is a great tool, and it's probably the number one tool you probably use. And then you'll probably have the spirit box as well. But just try all different things. If somebody approached me and said, Phil, I want to try this, I'd never go, no, we're not using that. That'd work. I'd be like, go ahead, use it, and see if that works. And I'm very.
You've got to be open-minded to trying everything, haven't you? You really, really have. And not shoot an idea down, because that idea might seem silly, but actually, if you have a go at it, it might bring something to the table where you think, oh my God, and if not on a personal level, but to the viewing audience as well. But sometimes it is more of a personal experience where you think, yeah, that's interesting.
Sure is. It's definitely It's definitely an interesting experience. I mean, all tools within paranormal were ideas at one time. You know,
Exactly,
somebody would have gone, oh, let's see if it records a voice, or somebody had, you know, they've all experiments at the end of the day, and some use
everything starts as theory.
Mhm.
Everything starts as theory.
Definitely.
It's sticking to an idea and developing on it. And if one thing doesn't work, don't just give up on it. Try something different, you know. And that's what we're doing. We're trying all different avenues and seeing what they throw up. If it throws up the same type of experiences the Gansfeld God's Helmet does, or if something different thrown into the mix will create a different sort of experience, you know. It just makes it so the options are endless, and it's exciting. I find it really exciting.
And like I say, I mean, we're not trying to prove it does work, because we went into it quite willing to say it don't, you know. So it's not like we've got it and we're trying to produce it and sell it out there to people, you know. It's not nothing like that. It was a device that we wanted to try, we wanted to experiment with, see what results we got, and put it out there. And that's literally what we're trying to do, you know.
Well, it's research. You're paranormal researchers. That's what you're doing. You're researching. You're trying things differently. You know, there's two things within paranormal. You're either a researcher or you're an entertainer, and that's my opinion. You know,
but sometimes you get tarred with the same brush because you tried the same methods, and that's unfortunate, but that happens.
Like, it's like I love Zach Bagans. I think he's absolutely brilliant. But the guy's an entertainer as well. You know, he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly, but deep down, I know genuinely he means well, and he just kind of gets a little bit excited.
There's two sides to him, isn't there? There's the entertainer, Zach Bagans, and then there is the actual research. He does, you know, he collects haunted items and oddities.
Some of those items, he's got all them serial killer items and things like that. He
bought an entire house and then just demolished it. You know, if he wasn't actually interested in the paranormal, would he do that? You know, I do think he's genuine. It's just that Ghost Adventures and Zach Bagans are two different, they're polar opposites.
Well, Ghost Adventures has got a production team and they've got ratings, and if Zach Bagans keeps doing the show and they're finding nothing each week, people are going to turn off, and the ratings are going to go because they're not getting the entertainment they want for it. So I do think he knows how to turn that dial when it's needed, but that's just my opinion. But I do think that he is a genuine. I think he has got a genuine passion for the paranormal.
I do as well. I do.
I can see that. I can see, you know, like you say. I mean, he wouldn't buy a house and knock it down. I mean, it'd have lost thousands on that.
Yeah.
And he's just bought, you know, he's bought loads there for like thousands and thousands of pounds. If it was just about money for him, I don't think he would have done that.
It's probably more than he's made, right? Not more than he's made, but he spent a lot
more than what he made. Yeah. And that does demonstrate passion. It's just the shame he's had to go into an edge into the entertainment thing. But like you say, production teams sometimes
I watch Ghost Adventures and I'm fully entertained by it. You know, I'm not quite sure what his findings are legitimate, but it's entertaining, and I like, you know.
We've actually got some ideas from them, haven't we, Charlotte?
Eh?
We've got some ideas from them, from Ghost Adventures Quarantine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one when they were in his museum and he were opening the box up, the Dybbuk box, and
the portal thing. He did it. No, he did a portal thing, didn't he?
Yeah,
but he tried to get one made.
Yeah.
you remember?
Yeah,
And you
I
put your
wonder how that
intention.
works. I wonder what this does. And I was like, I think it goes a little bit deeper than just buying the pores, because I did see Billy and Bill Chappell working quite hard at getting it connected, and it seems a bit harder than it actually appears. But we were like, we want one. How can we get one? Charlene was a little bit like, I need to buy one. You know, I need to get one.
The person I spoke to about it was like, oh yeah, I need to make that as well. Like, because they put the intention into the machine on it and then manifested this as something through electricity, wasn't it, or something or another?
Well, didn't the woman that had it, didn't she say that she was communicating with the devil or demons or something like that? And she was right. She wrote it all down, and I need to get my hands on that diary. She wrote everything down that she'd experienced, but apparently she went mad because she was literally in it all day, every day. It wasn't just, that's the kind of effect the God's helmet can have on you as well.
To make you addicted.
Yeah, I think Simon gets quite upset when somebody else wears it.
It does.
Yeah, possessive of it.
He's like, I want to do it.
Yeah, but it brings back to his earlier conversation how, like, it can.
The thing
is
is,
an addiction. Is like you said, like I said before, it's an addictive experience.
if you're experiencing something with something, then you want more from it. And you know it's genuine then when people do want more from it, because you know that they've had an experience with it.
Giving somebody an experience they've never had before. You know, and they like it. It's just the same with drugs. They want the drugs to give them the experience what they can't get, normally.
It does actually have a similar effect to hallucinogenics. It's not the same, but it's similar. And they treat depression with it as well. They tried to do, and it's the same with.
It must be a euphoric state. It must be a mild.
It sends you into like a trance mode, if you like, where it relaxes you, and this is why they had used it on people with depression, and even now that there's still studies of using different coils for different mental health issues to see if it can balance it out a little bit, and that's still ongoing. So in the future, who knows what might come of it?
Be an actual medical treatment,
It might be. It might be. And then it might not seem so silly.
No.
Once they've got some underlying.
Laughing now.
No, it could. Like you say, I mean, it could be on NHS before you know it.
It could be a treatment.
If everyone's saying they've got a positive experience from it, and
it would just be nice if science and the paranormal was a little bit. That bridge was the gap in that bridge was narrowed a little bit, so. Science, not just science, the paranormal, science, psychology, and the paranormal. If that could all work together, they could, some amazing things could be found out. The brain is one of the most unknown parts of the body. They know how it works, but they don't know how it works.
There's still. Barack Obama, a few years back when he was a president, he funded a whole research project into the human brain. And he said what we know about the human brain is what is minimum, literally
time
minimum.
fraction. Yeah.
They still don't know what the human brain. I mean, they've got an idea of what the human brain does, and they kind of know how it functions. But everybody's brain is different and works differently. It's I mean, someone who's got a psychic ability, will their brain work differently too?
Apparently so. Apparently they use a different area of the brain.
They do. This is why.
Go on.
This is why I want to, because eventually I would like to, because I was saying to Charlene when I sort of presented the idea, I said I'd love to measure, the electrical impulses on where exactly the synapses are firing in the brain to see where these experiences are coming from. So if it's always a specific area of the brain, that's probably the part of the brain that shuts off after a certain age, like 5-year-old, 6-year-old, maybe, the psychic part of us that we learn to forget because we don't need it, So that was the whole, that I'd love to the brain
Michael Piersinger, he did look at the alpha and beta waves, and he did do that and say that it did prove that, they was experiencing something in the brain at that point. We've not got to that point because one of the machine costs about 600 quid. But I did say at some point, if the research proved interesting enough, I would be prepared to pay that out to get one, so that could be implemented in the experiment, didn't I? I didn't want to get the old thing and use it and then not find that it didn't work. So that has been a part that we've wanted to do, so we can look at the better. And is it better? Alpha and
beta.
There are quite a few different waves that you can look at that are quite interesting. But the alpha and beta are the ones that were originally looked at.
So that's another thing we could eventually use alongside it, because you just put that under the helmet, so that measures it, and it measures it on you download the software onto your computer, and it shows you what's going on.
You should try it like a thermal. Have you got a thermal camera or anything like that? Film images.
Yeah, we do.
So get one of those on the person. And just to see if there's any like parts of the body what kind of like get cold or warm up or anything, or if the head gets warmer.
But what we did do is we scattered equipment round. So like Simon would say he felt something walk past his feet and it was cold, and then the temperature went off. I mean, I've always been a bit skeptical about the temperature meters, because a slight draft they can go off and you think, oh, it's just a draft. But since we was doing that, and Simon had said that, something's just gone past my right leg, and then that meter would go off, and it was like, oh, okay, it was strange, and it wasn't just a draft. He was saying it was a physical thing he was seeing,
Yeah. It was supported. Whatever he was saying was supported. Like if something moved, like he said, because Simon's very good at telling us what's going on and what he's seeing and where. So he gives us directions, and so it helps. Like as Charlie said, with the equipment that's on the floor, we have had moments where he said, "Oh, it's on my left-hand side," and then the REM pod's gone off. Or I know people take the mick out of flashy balls, but I think
there's no harm in having them out, though, is there? Just
exactly. They're touch-sensitive balls, they're touch sensitive. So,
well, yeah. You just got to throw everything at it, haven't you? Really, just got to whatever you've got in your disposal, just use it and put it out there.
What about you then, Phil? Are you going to try the helmet?
I'll try it. I'll try it.
He knows everything about it now.
Well, now that's it.
But we can always blindfold you, kidnap you, and take you somewhere.
Yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine that?
The Ouija brothers loved it, being our hostages.
Yeah, they tried it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Did they experience anything?
Griff did. Griff was a mate. We were like, whoa,
when I expect Griff to be as interested and intrigued by it as he was. But that bloke actually fished me down on Facebook to have a conversation with me after, because he was that impressed with it.
My parents were going ding, 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 ding. I'm like, why don't we do this? Or we could do that. We could go there. You know, he was really excited about it.
Steve, on the other end, he wasn't sure if it was his imagination or not. He wasn't sure if it kind of tallied up or not.
But at least he's being honest, you know. I mean, at least he's saying, I don't feel as though I felt anything from that. I mean, that is good answers towards your research. That is what you want. You know? I mean, when I do a paranormal investigation, I'm quite happily said that I've had nothing happen. Then, you know, just to say, oh yeah, something is here. You know, maybe the spirit didn't want to communicate during that period, you know.
Steve was really quite nervous. He was so nervous beforehand, and
it's a kind of daunting thing, and it's like reminds me of like an electric chair or something like, you know. I mean, you kind of you kind of would get a little bit nervous.
He was more worried about the electric magnetic fields and what it was doing to his head, even though we had reassured him quite a few times.
If you're saying it uses less than a mobile phone, I mean, there's not really much to worry about.
But I think it still worried him, and then the fact that he had a headache after, and the day after, I think
he still feel it in my brain. I'm not saying that he didn't still feel it in his brain, but I think he was a little bit anxious about, like Charles said, the EMF and you know what it was doing to him. So I think that could have hindered on his. He said he wouldn't do it again, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm not doing it again. Griff. Yeah, it was brilliant.
Would you say that if somebody did have a psychic ability, would that enhance it more? Would you say? You know, say if someone's a clairvoyant, or
believe it or not, we haven't actually done it on a full-fledged self-proclaimed medium yet.
Yeah,
we've done it on more skeptical people.
What I'd like to see is get a full-blown skeptic person, and then get a medium in the same room, and I have two, and see what results, or sit the skeptic in a room, let them leave, and then let the medium sit down and just see if they have the same results, or if they both say they didn't have find anything. It's all very interesting.
It's a good thing to try, but no, it is on the list to do.
Yeah, it's just the logistics of getting people about, isn't it? You know.
So if anybody is a fully fledged psychic medium and would like to try the God's helmet, get in touch.
There we go. Be interesting.
Yeah, you can be our victim for the night.
Yeah, be sure to sign your your waivers beforehand.
Yeah.
We won't accept any responsibility. No, but it's all, like I say, it's all safe. I mean, it's not as though you're pumping.
No, it's not even firing out. You're more dangerous. You see, the thing is that Michael personally did believe that electrical devices in the home could enhance spiritual experiences as well. That's what I read. But that's not sending a pulse. But people tend to think, because it's a device on your head, it's not producing any more than your microwave is. You know, so while you're standing there waiting for, I don't know, whatever you're cooking in there for 20 minutes, while you're in the kitchen next to it, that's producing a hell of a lot more than what the God helmet is.
Definitely. So,
but he did think certain items within the house could trigger off experience as well, and I don't know, don't quote me on it because I might be wrong. I don't know if that's why he started looking at this theory, but I do know that a line of thought was there with that, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's all good stuff. So yeah, so that's the God helmet. It's the girls have said that they highly recommend that this is a good form of try it. They recommend that this is a good tool for paranormal investigating, and be sure. I mean, I don't think they're open for everybody to get at it. I mean, you have to get the schematics for it to make it. But,
yeah, I had it specifically made in the knowledge that he said he wasn't going to make any more because he didn't know how other people would, if they would be dangerous with it, and he didn't want no liability back on him because it was a proper equipment seller. I bought it off, and he has, degrees in electronics, so he was.
Yeah,
he
you'd
did
like
know
to think,
what he's doing.
it's got to be safe for a human consumption, wouldn't you?
Yeah, he was, somebody I contacted, not just someone just willing to make it. He's got a certificates in electronics and everything, and he knows exactly what's what. So, it's not someone we've just found. But I mean, like I say, there is sites where they say you can buy them, but I'll just be cautious buying one from them because they are over $600. And you then might not get it depending if your face don't fit. And personally, if you're a lady, you'll probably not get one.
Yeah.
So you're probably wondering what the hell you're on about, but
when he thought we were two males, he was quite happy to sell us one, but when he found out we were two females, he wasn't happy to sell us one.
I wonder what that's a bit. I thought it would have been the other way around.
No, but he was happy to sell the male mate one. I had to join a community and find out more about it and have a year's study on it. But somebody else who didn't know him, who just messaged him out the blue, he was happy to sell him one. So I'd just be cautious with it isn't Michael Piersinger that you're buying from. It's just someone. It's the Shaka one, isn't it?
Shakti helmet.
That's the one that they sell. I'd just be a bit cautious because you might not end up receiving it.
Right. So that's good. What we've discussed it. Good insight. You've both told them what the thoughts. So people who's been watching this who's had no idea what the God helmet is have now a basic understanding of what the practice is used for, and it's all good stuff. So I'd like to thank you both for coming on the show this evening. And
thank you for having us.
And Charlene, where can you find you guys? Where can you be found?
So we're on Facebook. We've got a Facebook page. Just type in Paranormal Hauntings. We have a group. That's more of a community group for everyone, which is about 290 now, clocking on to 300,000 members. Like I say, isn't Paranormal Haunting specific. It's if you've got encounters you can post. It's a community group, if you like. Oh, I'm in there, probably don't even realise that we're a team. They just think it's a group. But we've also got Haunted Explorers. That is basically an exploring group, really. So that's like your urban exploring, with a bit of paranormal in there as well.
Don't you have somebody on your team who does a little bit of urban exploring?
Yeah, so Simon actually, everyone just thinks he's an urban explorer, but he isn't. He actually did live with a poltergeist for many years, experienced many things, and that he actually got into the paranormal in that way. It was only later on down the line that he got into urban exploring, but he kind of dabbles with both now, doesn't he? And he likes to have a day out just exploring, and he likes to have a night out investigating. But yeah, he does a bit of both, don't he?
He does.
So he manages Haunted Explorers, really, and there's no mimes and funny posts. It's a bit more serious in there, really, that he keeps his posts to that. And then
not memes.
We're on Instagram, and then we're on YouTube, but you probably not find us on YouTube because YouTube's not great and it don't like to find us.
Yeah, it's either got a following on YouTube or it's on Facebook. It's very rare that it's one or the other. Yeah, both, should I say. And it's so Paranormal Hauntings, guys. Look on Facebook, regular live streams. You're not out every night, are you? But you're out, say, one every other night, something like that.
Yeah. Well, we've been doing it twice a week, 3 times
that's
before.
More than enough. Me personally, that would be more than enough. 2 nights a week.
Anymore, it starts, because we obviously, work. We've got children. We've got families. We've got other family members that we look after. We've got responsibilities at home, So if you do it too much, it can start interfering with your personal life, and you need a balance with it, really, don't you? And so we go out, twice a week. We enjoy what we do that twice, and then we go back to work and family and whatever, so we can create a bit of a balance, so we can enjoy the best of both
the real world, as they say.
I think when you do this too much, you can become too obsessed, and it ends up becoming a chore rather than a passion. You end up just going out there because you feel like you need to go out there to do alive, and you don't want to feel like that, do you? You want to do it because you're enjoying it rather than.
That's exactly how I feel. Like if I was going out every night, I'd soon get bored, and I'd soon the excitement of doing it would soon zap.
It's
2 nights a week is more than enough, I would have thought myself, personally.
There is such thing as paranormal hangovers. So I can imagine having a paranormal hangover every morning and then going out every night. It just... Although I'd like to try going out every night. I love it. But that's only because I haven't got
believe that you do fall into a trap of getting obsessed with it, and
I think it can bring on negative energy if you do it too much.
If I can imagine if you're out doing it all the time, and you never know if you've picked an attachment up and they're feeding you to keep. It's hard to explain, but in my own head, I know. I mean, I've done it. I've done it where I've been out every night, and it does not help the mental health at all, because you fall into this trap of I've got to keep my face on. Yeah, I've got to keep my face out there,
and you don't.
And you don't. I soon realised that I don't need to be doing this every single night, and it's. I just do the investigating now just for my love of doing it, and that just do it for me. I'm not doing it for anybody else. It's just for me.
You seem a lot better now.
You do.
You've completely changed, but in a good way. Like the whole vibe.
Like I say, I've had experiences, and I know that I've been to the most notoriously haunted places, and I know. I don't know but I know that something has had a hold of me. And did
it help when we cleansed you, Phil?
Yeah, it's been a lot better. Yeah, a lot better. I'm not interested in these demonic hauntings and things like that. That doesn't interest me at all anymore. You just do not know what you're messing with, and deal with. If you don't know what you're messing with, why would you want to challenge that?
We just seem to stumble upon stuff, don't we?
Yeah.
We just seem to stumble upon like sigils on a wall, and like we went to
but we don't dabble. We ain't there drawing things on the floor, trying to summon things to come forward. We ain't doing that intentionally. We might go to places and come across things and think, oh, okay, you're not
going with fully knowing what is there. Say a demon is there, and you're going, and you're reading passages from books, and cutting your hand, doing blood sacrifice, just to raise whatever. You're not doing that.
No.
You're going, you're investigating, and if something negative comes on the devices, then you didn't know that, and you handle that best you can.
He's just had a white thingy go behind him, isn't it?
Just that you just see it.
Yeah, people keep saying people keep saying I have the odd orb fly past me.
Yeah, it's just gonna crush you at the back.
It was white, whatever it was, and it was
not seeing it all the way through it.
I mean, if it was dust, you'd be seeing it all the time, wouldn't you? Constantly going
it
past
wasn't.
all the time.
It was too bright to be dust. It was almost illuminated. That's what it seemed like. But it was right behind it. It was quite pretty, actually.
Yeah, like I said, I mean,
it might be your grandma, Phil.
Say that again.
Didn't you feel your grandma around you a lot? If I'm right in thinking.
Well, when you came to do a cleansing, that's what we kind of came to the conclusion of. And whatever is in here is not negative. I've just learned to live
with it.
And if it's somebody and they don't mean me, and I just you still that airy odd thing here and there, but it's nothing. It's nothing to be getting, worked up and getting feel threatened by. It's all innocent, which is all good stuff. So it's probably just a person what's lived in here, and they're just doing the daily routine what they did when they were alive. Just doing their own thing, and you just leave them to it. But there's definitely energy in here, and definitely something, but there's nothing negative.
No.
And so, thank you very much, then, girls. I'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening.
All right, and thank you for having us.
Yeah, no worries. And I'll see you guys on the next episode of Phil Sinclair Investigates Podcast. Okay, then, guys. See you next time.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.